Welcome back to Live With, brought to you by Species Nutrition. Visit speciesnutrition.com. I'm Dave Palumbo, and today's guest is IFBB Classic Physique Pro, Darnell Ferguson. Welcome, my friend.
What's going on, Dave? Thanks for having me on today.
Hey, thanks for joining us. You know, one of the things that really struck me, as being special about you is your height. You're 6'4", which is probably, I think, got to be one of the biggest guys in the entire division.
Yeah, definitely. I think one of the biggest guys that's going to step on the Olympia stage. So it's taken a while to fill out this frame. But yeah, 6'4" is definitely one of the taller people in the division for sure.
Now, what's interesting, a lot of people might not understand this, but the way Classic Physique works is that your weight is dictated by your height. So the taller you are, the more you can weigh. The shorter you are, the less you can weigh. I believe, what is your cutoff for 6'4"?
I believe it's 256 or 257.
Wow.
And at the Pittsburgh Pro, I checked in at 245.
So you got room to grow still.
Still a lot of room to grow. I think what it is too is I have small joints and big muscle belly, so
Right.
It creates that illusion that I look bigger than what I actually am. So
Right.
That's what's going to make bodybuilding fun for me, is that I have so much room to improve.
Well, people say though, they're like, oh, it's not fair. That guy can weigh 250 pounds. That's like the pro open bodybuilder. Yeah, but you're 6'4". If you had to be in the open class, you'd probably have to be over 300 pounds on stage.
Definitely, I would.
Yeah. Now, which is not something that I'm sure you're interested in doing, correct?
No. Classic is where I found my home. Started in men's physique, got my pro card in 2014. But just my height, I think, kind of threw me off with some of the shorter competitors, just kind of matching up in the lineups. But when they announced Classic, everyone told me, don't go, you're too tall, you're too long, you're not going to be able to make it in Classic. But, I just said, hey, let's go for it. And I've spent the last couple of years trying to get that size to fill out.
Yeah.
And still have plenty of room to grow.
Well, your upper body definitely has the size, that's for sure. No one's going to deny that. Obviously, tall guys usually have problems with legs.
Yeah.
What kind of training do you do specifically? Are you able to squat like normally?
Oh, yeah. I can put up some good weight on squats. I can put up 4 or 5 plates. My hammies need to come up a little bit. Definitely want to get the hang to come down a little bit more. But I throw in about 2 hammy days per week, 1 heavy hammy day, and then maybe more of a hypertrophy hammy day later in the week. But legs is fun for me. I love training legs. So I've had 3 knee surgeries. So people always complain about, my knees hurt and this and that. Well, I'm saying, hey, have 3 knee surgeries and be 6'4", and then talk to me.
Now, I have to believe that you had to be a great athlete in school because you got an athletic physique. You're a tall guy. What sports did you play?
I played everything. Basketball primarily.
Right.
Played a little bit at Sacramento State. Played small forward. So basketball is kind of my passion.
Right.
And then when that ended, when sports ended, I kind of had this void I was trying to fill, and I found bodybuilding through a friend of mine. And so this is kind of the new sport I'm kind of chasing, and it's replacing it.
Can you dunk a basketball?
I can. It doesn't look as pretty now.
I'm sure it doesn't. If we had to set up a one-on-one match with you and Phil Heath, who would win in basketball?
Oh, I would win for sure. Yeah.
I bet you Phil would disagree.
I know. I've seen clips of him play. I know he can play, but
That
I think
would
I have
be
the
great.
height advantage of him.
I think people would pay money to see that one-on-one, you versus Phil Heath.
Oh, we could do it.
I'm gonna reach out to him.
Yeah, and a lot of people actually kind of relate my aesthetics or my genetics to Phil too, and say kind of I'm a classic Phil Heath in a way. So,
you guys look alike too. You do look alike. You're right.
Yeah,
facially, you could be brothers probably. You're just it's like twins. You're like his big tall brother.
Exactly. He can beat me in the bodybuilding. I'll beat him on the basketball court.
I'd love to see that. I'd pay money to see that. I wouldn't pay to see you up on the Olympia stage with him, but I'd pay money to see the one-on-one basketball like in some back court someplace in like some Brooklyn, New York street or something like that.
No elbows though. No elbows.
No elbows. Yeah. Well, you got a lot bigger elbows than he does. That's for sure. Talk to me about the Pittsburgh Pro, because you really made a real impact there in that 3rd place. behind Steve Lorius and Divine Wilson. I mean, it was a great stacked lineup. I think a lot of people took notes. I think a lot of people might have really overlooked you in a sense because it was they were so focused on those two guys, but you were right up there.
Yeah, it was a good showing for us coming out to the East Coast. Obviously, I'm a different type of physique. I think that's what the division needs is different physiques. You don't want to have more of a cookie cutter lineup, but Steve and Divine look good. I think they might have been going for a certain look for that show, but I felt like my conditioning was really good.
Yeah.
I felt like I matched up to those guys really good. So to be able to come on to the Pittsburgh Pro, which is considered a top 5 stage, and do that well, I felt like we came out with a strong performance. So
yeah, I mean, your conditioning was really good on stage. I mean, you were diced and sliced, and like I said, you really don't look like you have weaknesses. You're very well balanced for a tall guy.
Definitely. Yeah, I spent a lot of time getting my legs up. A lot of people said my upper body was where it needs to be, but in the off season, I've been hitting legs 2 or 3 times a week, doing double days 3 or 4 times a week, and really trying to balance everything out. So I believe this division isn't needed for having huge legs. You just need legs that balances your whole physique out.
That's exactly, you said it perfectly. It's about balance. It's about having harmony between the upper and lower body. You can't have one body part be too overwhelming or you lose that balance. And I think that's really what you have is good flow. Your physique kind of is like a bigger version of Ray Edmonds, who was also in that Pittsburgh show. You guys have similar, he's tall too. I think you're a little taller than he is, but I think you guys have similar flow to your physiques.
Definitely. Yeah, I think we got something going on that's really special. At 6'4", I'm definitely going to be probably the tallest person in the division in Olympia. And like I said, we have about 10 more pounds to grow. So definitely going to put a little bit more on the legs, a little bit more on the back, and hopefully, do well at Olympia. So I can't wait.
Yeah, now just to let people know, last year, at the end of the year, in August, you won the Pacific USA Classic Physique Pro, which qualified you not for the Olympia in 17, but for the Olympia in 18. So you're already qualified. This was kind of like just a show, I guess, to make a name for yourself. You will be shutting it down now till the Olympia in September, correct?
Exactly, yeah. So we did qualify right before the Olympia. That was kind of the game plan to get that win and then have a whole year to try to fill out a little bit more. So my coach, Kim Otto, Bodybuilding, he suggested I do an East Coast show, whether the New York Pro, the Arnold, or the Pitt. I was aiming for the Arnold originally, but just had a few personal things going on where I needed to mentally focus and just get my bearings. So we decided to do the Pittsburgh Pro, and came over here to the East Coast, and he was really excited and really happy with our placing. So
yeah,
we just wanted to give those judges kind of a taste of what we're going to bring, and so we don't just surprise them, but they know exactly kind of a physique that we can bring to Olympia stage.
Yeah, I think it's a good strategy. Sometimes if you stay over in your neck of the woods, people don't really know who you are. I think a lot of the national and Olympia judges really are East Coast guys, so that was a smart strategic move on your part. Now you have a regular job. You actually own your own insurance agency. How do you balance, work with, training and getting ready for a competition?
Yeah, I've been owning an insurance agency with farmers for the last 6 years since I was 22.
Awesome.
It has really been a key factor in helping me bodybuild the way I have, because I do make my own hours, I have my own office. A lot of it is residual income. So when I'm getting ready for a show, I have the luxury to take, a week or 2 off and still make a decent living. But a lot of competitors, they work a 9 to 5 and it's tough, and they're still able to do it. But I love kind of this field and this opportunity because it does allow me to really put a lot of focus into this sport. So yeah, I've been doing that and feel good being self-employed and moving over here into the bodybuilding world as well.
Look, it's always good to be your own boss and make your own hours, like you said, and it's good to also takes the financial pressure off you, because a lot of bodybuilders, especially young guys coming up, don't have that luxury of being able to have income coming in. They're always worried about how they're going to pay their cell phone bill and their rent and this and that. And so you've kind of done it the right way. You built the business while you were building your hobby, and now your hobby is also becoming a career for you.
Exactly, yeah. And I do have great sponsors. Optimal Sports Nutrition out here in San Bernardino. They take very good care of me, and and set me up for a lot of my shows and a lot of the supplements that I need. So they've taken a lot of financial pressure off of me as well. So it's been a collective effort.
Who does all the cooking of your food?
Fit Foods Redlands. So I'm from Redlands. There's
Okay.
a company out here called Fit Foods Redlands. It's owned by Tracy, and she is a former IFBB pro. So she kind of knows exactly what I need in my my competitions, and pays really close attention to detail. So yeah, they've been taking good care of me with the meals and eating as much as I eat. She knows she knows it takes a lot to feed me. So I
Sure.
really appreciate her service.
Who do you see as your biggest threat going into the Olympia? Who are the guys that you're gunning for up there?
Well, I'm always gunning for first. We'll see how my physique stacks up in Olympia, but obviously Bumstead, Breon,
Right.
Harash is in there, so we're gonna see how I stack up. A top 5 would be really good. Top 10 would be also be good, but just to present the physique at 6'4" and kind of see how I stack up against those guys is going to be a good experience. But obviously, those top 3 are contenders.
Yeah, I mean, you're almost a foot taller than Breon Ansley. It's like you're like a giant compared to a little kid. So it will be interesting to see how you stack up, because we don't have any competitors as tall as you. So it will be interesting. I think you'll add another dimension to that Olympia lineup for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that's something too that goes into the fact where when I do stand next to somebody, it can kind of skew. It can either hurt me or it can help me.
Yeah.
So if I can fill out enough, it can kind of skew their physique where, it kind of gives me more of a stage presence. But if I can't fill out, then it kind of will make me look thin. But I think we're getting there. And like I said, we have 10 more pounds. We're going to put on a little bit more weight for Olympia, and we should line up pretty well.
Well, you look great. Congratulations on the 3rd place in Pittsburgh. Obviously, congratulations on the trip to the Olympia. And it'll be interesting to see how you do up there. Good luck in all your training over the next couple of months. And thanks for stopping by and filling us in on what's going on in your life.
Awesome, Dave. I appreciate you having me on. You have a good day.
All right, and that's going to take us to the end of another episode of Live With, brought to you by Species Nutrition. I'm Dave Palumbo, and we'll see you next time.